What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil Leroy Judgemental podcast. I'm Leroy and I'm flying solo. So if you don't like my voice or the things I say, then it's best to not listen because it's just me. I got a couple of thoughts here. It snowed earlier this week and it's going to snow next week here in Philly. So I have two things to say. Number one, please stop these tables and chairs in a parking spot. Just because you dig the car out, don't make it yours. And it makes it hard for people who want to park to try to find a parking spot when all your damn tables and chairs is there blocking our way. And then and the snow kind of melted the snow kind of melted on Thursday, Friday. Hardly no snow was on the ground, but yet people still had their tables and chairs blocking the parking. So what's up with that? Second of all, when you wipe your car off, please clean your roof off because it's too many times I've seen people driving down the street with a pack full of snow on a roof, and the snow will actually fall down on their windshield, which means they can't see. So, but for your safety, mine, and everyone else's, please clean your damn roof off. So, we talked last week on a podcast about acting accordingly on the streets. Here's a story out of Houston, Texas, where a 35-year-old father of five, Brandon Curtis, was killed while confronting teens over his daughter being cyberbullied. Here's the video.
The wife and sisters of Brandon Curtis say after his daughter had been bullied for months, he was just trying to end it on Friday evening, but they say he never would have been involved in a fight with teens.
I still got to be a mother. Now I'm a single mother.
Chantel Harris hasn't had time to process her husband's death.
And every time I try, I can't because I can't let my kids see me like that. I got to stay strong for them.
Brandon Curtis was shot to death Friday. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said it happened after Curtis took his daughter to this Humble area neighborhood to fight other teens.
That's not my husband. That's not my husband.
But Curtis's wife and sisters dispute that.
My brother would never put his hand on a child.
Chantel says her 15-year-old daughter has been bullied on social media by the same teen boy for 9 months. She shared some of the messages.
Bitch, I'm going to beat you up, and ho, I'm going to get you, and you ain't it. And they would say stuff about me like, oh, F your mom, F your dad. We don't give a F about nothing.
A few months ago, she says she and her husband talked to the boy's father about it. Friday evening, she says her husband and daughter left to address the issue again.
When they left from here, my husband left from here to go resolve the issue. He wanted to go speak to the parent.
Once there, it got physical. Video reportedly shows Curtis trying to break it up.
That's from the police that he's doing this. You're not doing this. It's not fighting somebody.
Investigators say a 20-year-old man told them Curtis hit his teen brother, so he got a gun and shot him. He claims self-defense.
For them to say self-defense, that's sickening.
The case will be referred to a Harris County grand jury. Over the weekend, Chantel says her daughter got this message. We all had a fight and killed Day Daddy.
They think it's a joke.
They want the man who shot Curtis charged. The father of five worked tirelessly to provide. Now his family feels compelled to defend him.
I really don't feel that's right. Right, that they allowed that to come out like that. And I'm angry. I know my husband not like that.
Jessica Willie, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Sad story all around. A father of five gone. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the 1980s or the early 90s. You don't go over somebody's house with that bullshit because they used to tell us back in the day how you go over somebody's house to fight and all that shit. Shit don't fly like that anymore. And I'm not sure about Texas, but I know some states have these electronic stalking and harassment laws and all that stuff. It was best for him to try to go to the police because he already went to the parents and nothing happened. So your next step is just to go to police and press charges. And second of all, and down south, I'm not going to nobody's house with trying to fight or confronting anybody because they got guns like a piece of furniture down there. Texas, now I'm assuming just everybody's going to be have a weapon. So no, I'm not going to nobody's house with this bullshit. Second story, we have Rochester, New York. Body cam video shows Rochester police use pepper spray to handcuff a 9-year-old girl. Here's the video.
3 Rochester, New York police officers have been removed from patrol after video showed them pepper spraying a 9-year-old handcuffed girl. We want to warn you, the video is tough to watch.
No, you said that you were going to pepper spray me. No, please, no, stop. Oh, I got a bad
This sprayer.
Not here. Stop.
I got her. I got her.
The incident began with a parent telling officers the girl had threatened to harm herself and others. At one point, an officer told the girl she was acting like a child. She replied, "I am a child." Police say they pepper sprayed her after she refused to listen to commands and kicked an officer. As you can imagine, the incident has led to an outcry, including a march to a Rochester police precinct by protesters yesterday. One officer has been suspended and 2 others are now on leave. The girl was taken to the hospital and then released to her parents.
You know, you said the video would be disturbing. I'm not even quite sure what I'm looking at there. I just know that you can hear the girl clearly in distress. And I know there are 2 sides to every story. We're always raised that way. But I can't imagine any circumstance that a grown-ass man can't control a 9-year-old girl who is not armed. I don't understand what happened
Pictures
there.
are awful. I think there's also a third side to it, which is police don't want to be in that situation.
Exactly.
If you have mental health workers there, then the police can take a back seat.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about.
We've been talking about it a lot.
Yeah, and you just don't, I mean, it's why are you pepper spraying a 9-year-old girl?
No,
it's just, how does it get to that?
There's more to this story for sure.
All right, now that little piece there with Gayle King, that was way little too liberal, because here's the story. Police said officers were responding to a report of a quote-unquote family trouble Friday. The body camera video also depicts the girl wearing flowered leggings and a black sweatshirt asking, "Can you please get the snow off me? It's cold." "You had your chance," one officer tells her, while another one shouts, "Get in the car." 2 body camera videos, which are about 17 minutes in total, shows an unidentified officer struggle with the girl for several minutes before getting her into the police car. During this, the mother approached, and she and her daughter continually argued. The chaotic scene then grows worse when the mother is heard in a video yelling at passenger cars, slowing down to watch. A female officer arrives and tries to calm the little girl down, but she continues screaming. Minutes later, cops use pepper spray on her face. Then she gets into the vehicle and the officer closed the door. The young girl is taken to the hospital, treated and released, officials said. How many times we told y'all about calling police with this shit? So again, discretion, everyone. I don't have kids, but this is a 9-year-old girl. So her mother can't control an elementary school kid. Now, what's the problem with that? I don't even blame the cops, because you called the cops and the cops did cop shit. So what do you expect? What do you expect her to just skip into the police car? You the one that called them. And then she sees I read that just to let you know that she sees the cops manhandling her 9-year-old child. She didn't stop them. She went and continuously argued with the little girl. So why are you blaming the cops? Why are you outside protesting the cops? That's the mother's fault. I hate to say it. I mean, again, I don't have any children, so I believe that that's the mother's fault. You can't control a 9-year-old kid. What is that, like your best friend or something? That's an elementary school girl, 9 years old. What you in, like the 4th or 5th grade? And she can't control her kid for her to call the cops. And the cops came over and did cop shit. But I'm supposed to be mad at the cops and want to protest down the street and go to the police station? Absolutely not. That's the mother's fault. All right, now, we're going to come to Philadelphia with this. Privilege at its finest with 22-year-old Andre DeRotion, a graduate in psychology at Drexel University. No background in healthcare, but yet he's in charge of Philadelphia vaccination for the COVID-19 virus. Here's the video.
What were they thinking? A 22-year-old college kid hired to run a mass vaccination site with 0 experience and no medical qualifications. Now the young man, Drexel University graduate student Andre DeRotion, admits he took home some of that vaccine and gave the shots to 4 buddies.
People who came here for vaccinations at the Philadelphia Convention Center describe a chaotic and disturbing scene.
with apparently healthy people in their 30s getting vaccinated and elderly people being turned away in tears after waiting for hours.
I don't understand who gave a 22-year-old keys to the convention center and thousands of doses of vaccines and just said, here.
32-year-old Jillian Horn said she was able to make an appointment online even though she's not in an eligible group.
The elderly people, they were like, I need to get vaccinated. I'm 85. Like, what do you mean I can't get vaccinated? I'm 85. It was a disaster. I'll never get the image out of my head.
29-year-old nurse Katrina Lipinski volunteered at the site. She claims she saw Dorshin taking vaccine home in a bag. She posted, "I feel terrible for the role I played in contributing to this operation." I spoke with Dorshin about the allegations today. You're a bunch of college students, and I have to ask you, what made you think that you could carry this out?
Excuse me, we did carry this out. That's the bottom line. We did something that the health department and the city couldn't do, that no other group could do. So I'm sorry, sir, but we did the job.
Is it true you took vaccine home and administered it to your friends?
We had 4 vaccines that were left over. I took it upon myself, especially in this pandemic where every vaccine matters, every single one, to put that vaccine into an arm as per the guidance. I did vaccinate 4 of my friends.
Purpose at its finest, folks. I mean, how the hell does a 22-year-old who has no background in a medical field is in charge of this? Another one, I don't blame him. It's the city. It's the people in charge that allowed him to do this shit. It's more qualified people, even hospitals that was qualified, but you didn't get them. You got a 22-year-old. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I really don't have much to say on that case. But we're gonna have a redneck meetings of the minds here where Georgia Police Chief Gene Allman and Patrolman John Brooks ousted after video laced with racial slurs. Here's the video.
Protest. I don't own no slaves. My folks didn't own no slaves. You know, what are we talking about? 200 years ago?
The police chief of a city in West Georgia has resigned and an officer is fired after body camera video shows the two making racist comments. Happened this past Monday. The city council of Hamilton, Georgia asked for the resignation of Chief Gene Allman and terminated Sergeant John Brooks. Both can be heard on the video, which was made hours before the start of a Black Lives Matter march last June. A part-time city employee found the footage while checking out the body camera to see if it was working. That employee then brought it to the mayor's office.
It seems to me like they furnished them a house to live in. They furnished them clothes to put on their back. They furnished them food to put on their table, and all they had to do was work.
That's the police chief talking.
And now we give them all those things and they don't have.
That was the patrolman.
That's it.
After reviewing the footage, I think it speaks for itself. The city, its failure to take action at that point in time would have been inexplicable. It had to be done.
The city's mayor said both men had to be removed from the force, saying the country needs unity and healing.
Well, I don't see nothing wrong with slavery. I mean, they had housing, they had food, they had clothing. And now we got to give it to them free without all that, without working. I just don't understand it. Here's a video with them talking about Stacey Abrams and Keisha Lance Bottoms.
And that mayor up there, she's already fired the officer. And
this is the patrolman talking.
Without a hearing. And she's pushing real hard. They say she's now the front runner to be Joe Biden's vice president.
This is during when they're talking about when the guy that was tased, Rayshard Brooks was tased in the Wendy's parking lot. That's who they were talking about. And at the time, Keisha Lance Bottoms was running to be vice president.
Presidential candidate. You kidding?
If I had to fucking I'd rather the mayor than Stacey Abrams.
Well, he's right about that. That's the one thing I can agree with him on that. I'd rather have sex with Keisha Bottoms than Stacey Adams. At least their hearts was in the right place. I just don't understand what's going on here. I mean, they already fired them, and you're not supposed to use tasers, and I just really don't get it. Does this actually work? I don't think these cameras work. So we have a police chief and a patrolman didn't know that the body cameras actually worked. Way to go. All right, y'all. Florida is in the house. Like cousin Jay said, it's always got to be always got to be a report on Florida. Here's 34-year-old Shauna Rackwell Vega of Revere Beach, Florida, charged with throwing her 1-month-old baby at her father during a fight. Shauna Rackwell Vega, 34, Revere Beach, Florida, is facing charges including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, child neglect with great bodily harm, and aggravated child abuse, according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Vega threatened the girl's father with a knife on Monday during a fight at a hotel room where they lived, and then tossed the baby at him. Well, it's the Super Bowl's down there, so. But he failed to catch the child, and she landed face down on the floor, the South Florida Sun-Sentinel Times reported, citing an arrest report. Vega allegedly picked up the baby and fled the hotel. Revere Beach police later tracked her down after receiving a call from a resident who reported that a woman was sitting on her patio with a baby wrapped in a blanket. The baby is said to have suffered an orbital bone fracture, a brain bleed, a liver laceration, among other injuries. Vega initially denied throwing a baby, but later told investigators that she tried to hand over the child, but the father accidentally dropped her, the news outlet reported. I should laugh at that because the baby got hurt, but damn, these people just not bright at all. They just not bright at all. I'm sorry. All right, finally, we got a street entrepreneur here. We support our street entrepreneurs. We got 19-year-old Trey Brown of Georgia accused of stealing more than $1 million from Kroger. Here we go.
Her employee pocketed nearly $1 million from the store before they say employees caught on to the scam.
And tonight he is in jail. CBS 46's Tori Cooper live at the Gwinnett Kroger with how the teenager was caught. Tori, what have you learned?
Yeah, police say 19-year-old Trey Brown worked here at this Kroger before an employee allegedly discovered that he was falsifying returns and putting the money back onto his credit card for nearly 2 weeks. Now, police say without this vigilant employee, this scam would have continued. Detectives say they believe this young man went big.
A case that involved him stealing over $980,000.
For nearly 2 weeks, police say 19-year-old Trey Brown was allegedly falsifying more than 40 different returns on items that didn't exist without anyone noticing. Police say he would move the funds from the returns onto his own credit card, ranging from $75 a pop to $87 grand.
Once he had the money on the credit cards, he took that and purchased cars, what we believe at least 2 cars, clothing, guns, and a number of other items.
Local shoppers stunned that someone was able to pull off a scam of this magnitude at their local Kroger.
What does a 18-year-old know how to spend $1 million?
If he can do it, some other people that are around him knows how to do it too.
But police say one of the cars Brown purchased was a Camaro, and his alleged shopping spree finally took a destructive turn when Brown totaled the Camaro prior to being arrested at his home for theft. Now, police say funds were returned to several different outlets once Brown was arrested. But many people we had a chance to speak to today in this parking lot say a teen like this likely had help to create a scam in this size. Reporting live in Duluth, I'm Tori Cooper for.
Why did the teen need help? Why can't he just do it on his own? You know, we support our street entrepreneurs. He ain't hurt nobody other than that accident he got in. But other than that, he ain't done nothing to nobody. So, all right, y'all. This is a little short little episode. You can reach the Judgementals on Twitter and Facebook at P&L Judgementals. You can go on Instagram at the2_judgementals or send us an email at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, if you want to ask a question, send us an email. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking the time out just to listen to just me and my opinions and my view on stuff. So I appreciate it.